How do social media companies use AI? They're used in targeted marketing with product recommendations, job recommendations. They filter spam content, language translation, facial recognition, and exponential growth.
In 2011, Twitter added the ability to share pictures. Since then, they've been using AI and algorithms to automatically crop images to make an image more appealing. The algorithm they made crops images on facial recognition, and this didn't work too well, because if it didn't find any images, it would randomly crop it and it looked terrible. Since then, they've taught the AI to crop images in such a way that it's more appealing. For example, the image on the left was the original, but the image on the right, to crop it automatically, makes it more appealing. AI can recognize and remove spam messages from Instagram's users' accounts in 9 different languages. This is very good, as they have helped their customers from scammers and bots. Finally, with Twitter, they use AI to take down any inappropriate accounts on their platform. For example, in 2017, they removed over 300,000 accounts that had links to terrorism.
So with satellite imagery, AI can find out and accurately predict stuff like earthquakes and hurricanes that could happen. And with more geographical information, it can also be used to identify any volcanic eruptions that might happen. And then also Google can predict it as well.
Smart meters can be used to allow each provider to better understand the usage, which means that they can more efficiently give energy to each household or to increase the amount of energy generated.
Okay, so we were also looking, of course, in the news recently, we've heard that Amazon has opened its first cashierless supermarket in the UK. Of course, consumers can just walk in using a smartphone app. They're automatically checked in upon entry and they don't have to scan any of the products they buy. It's simply put in and pay and charge their account. Of course, we were looking therefore at one of the more unfortunate sides of AI being a very automotive technology. It means that in many jobs, it's been seen in transport, it's been seen in factories, and it's now being seen in retail as well. It is helping to kill off jobs in certain industries, and therefore when we were looking at the role of AI in retail, we were also looking at one of the moral problems of rising unemployment that could be caused by this potentially.
So I was looking at targeted advertising. So targeted advertising is a form of online advertising that focuses on specific interests and preferences of the consumer, and this comes from your activity on the internet. So it's a way of placing adverts based on your behavior and previous buying history. So for example, when you're on Amazon and you're shopping and you add something to your basket or you look below, it will come up with suggested products based on this. So it's really useful as it will collect all this data and make it more efficient, so you see what you're more of what you're interested in, but it also will keep recommending the same sorts of products, which then become more popular, and then therefore the data won't be as accurate.
So we did AI in healthcare and cybersecurity when it comes back on, and here's the first slide.
So I looked at AI use in surgery, and we use this for usually precision, accuracy, and the cleanliness of the whole operation is a lot better. Robots create an aseptic environment because they are not hosts for any diseases, and they're a lot easier to disinfect than humans are. And they're usually used for keyhole surgeries and procedures that have low risk of complications, as these robots don't have the capacity to be able to make decisions if there are complications in the surgery, especially moral decisions. Currently, the one that's used most is the Da Vinci, and it holds instruments with a camera and magnified screen and a console to control the movements of these arms. It means the surgeon can sit away from the table and minimise any risk to the patient. Some of the advantages are there are fewer complications, less blood loss, quicker recovery, and a lot less scarring, if any.
So AIs can analyse and recognise patterns in scans, so it allows doctors to easily diagnose diseases more accurately. So during trials in Southend Hospital, an AI that used electromagnetic changes can detect cervical cancer with a 90% accuracy. And with large-scale data collection, AIs can use to identify common symptoms, like in COVID-19, it showed that a loss of sense of smell and taste was a symptom. And also fragments of DNA and RNA produced by cancer cells can be detected in the blood before more visible symptoms develop.
There are risks with AI though. Mass job redundancy when the AI develops to get rid of those more menial tasks. You've got privacy violations, as intimate data could be used by the AI to extrapolate a trend. Deepfake videos published that spread misinformation and propaganda from public figures in the aim to cause terror. And there will always be algorithmic bias because the AI will always extrapolate trends that it shouldn't from a data set.
And in depth view into autonomous weapons, they are weapons that can operate on their own without human input. There are currently no lethal autonomous weapons, although the technology exists to replace human input. It has the potential to start a global arms race, and there's already been an example in 2010 with the Stuxnet. Militaries want these weapons because then they can have unlimited drones, there's less lag time, data doesn't have to be transmitted, and humans can make errors that machines shouldn't.
So the biggest ethical and moral issue with AI is bias. So bias is the phenomenon that happens when results are systematically prejudiced. In 2019, Facebook allowed its advertiser to target race, gender, and religion specifically. This led to women being shown adverts mainly to do with nursing and secretary work, and men being shown jobs to do with janitors and taxi drivers. This could be prevented by This happens due to human error, and by removing gender and race out of your data, you can remove this, but this could also lead to inaccurate data.